Welcome to the show. I'm Hoyt.
And I'm Corey.
And this week we're talking to Tom
Bhramayana.
Yeah, I told Hoyt, no offense, but I told Hoyt, so we're going to have to get him to say his own last name. Yeah. I still have problems with it. And I've been knowing you for 15, 20 years.
I'll be honest with you, man. I didn't know how to write my name till second grade. So, I mean, that's just what happens.
Tom's a movie producer, and he's here to talk about Tinker today. We're going to talk about film in Louisiana. Tell us about Tinker, Tom.
Tinker's a feature film, full-length feature film I wrote and produced. We actually started it back in 2013. And what started off as a small project really just grew, but it was because of a lot of the work of all the people we collaborated with. Sure. My director, Sonny Marler, we created Co-Create Productions in 2012, and we spent about a year working on productions, music videos, PSAs, commercials, documentaries, just to see if we could work together, and he contacted good friends that were in the industry. Christian Kane, who's with Leverage, and The Librarians, we had 4 seasons of that, and Clayne Crawford, who was on Spectral on Netflix. Rectify, which is an amazing series on Sundance Channel, and he's done so many things. Walk to Remember, going way back. Sure. But his most recent work was Lethal Weapon as Riggs, where he just killed that character. Wow. Yeah. So it was really cool because I had a chance to work with him, and they always said that they would actually be on his first or his directorial debut. And sure enough, he locked down that talent, and we filmed, it was a slow process. We had minimal money. Our executive producers out of South Carolina, the Stacks family, they supported us a ton. And we were able to get enough to film for about 15 days. And they liked what they saw. Everybody did. And we were able to raise about $100,000 on Kickstarter the following year. And it put us through our second production where we had enough footage. I think it was 30 days total, approximately, of filming. And then the rest was post, which we brought it back to Louisiana, man. And we used the talent that was here, and I'm going to use them over and over.
Yeah.
What influenced you to get started in this?
It's a funny story. I sold my wife had a friend that was living in LA, and I sold a house. He was wanting to relocate back to Louisiana, so I sold him a house, and he said, "You know what? You should be a producer." And I was like, I have no idea what a producer, what an AD, what anything does in the film side. I know that we were a hotbed. You know this, Corey. Everybody was shooting,
Back then, yeah.
I mean, True Blood. Just everybody was filming.
Sure.
You could literally just drive around anywhere. Dukes of Hazzard was right down the street from here.
That's right.
So it wasn't something I was interested in. I don't really care about directors and writers and actors, to be honest with you. I'm not a fan man by any means. And Louisiana's not. That's the cool thing and why people shoot here. They can sit there at Mel's or wherever. They just want to chill, and they're not getting like paparazzi'd.
Right.
But I looked into it, and we invested in the film, and it went to Sci-Fi Channel. I was an executive producer with my wife on it, and unfortunately, I got the taste of the bad side because producers are supposed to manage money, manage time, make sure the production gets from beginning to end, do scheduling, and that's what they're supposed to do, and be able to nurture those relationships on set to make sure that vision that the director has and the writer has comes to fruition. Someone will just steal your money, they'll lie to you, they won't show up on set, they just want to take the tax incentives and it gives unfortunately it gives the industry a bad name, so it's hard to find somebody that's honest. And I did real estate, so I got an ethics thing.
And how many years you been doing this?
Film, I've been doing film since 2011. Yep. I'm a real estate agent by trade.
Yeah.
And I think I mentioned earlier, it's kind of like by day I'm a real estate agent, and then I slip into my cape at night and I do film.
Well, the film has garnered many awards, and I'm sure you can tell us how many awards you guys.
Yeah. We did 19 Best of Awards. We attended multiple film festivals all the way to Bahamas, Sarasota. We were actually even invited to a Hindu film festival.
Wow.
Which was very interesting because, we do have some Christian connotations that are in it. It's not a faith-based film by any means, but it is a film about love and people resonating with that. So, we've got 19 best ofs. We were, even at the International Christian Film Festival, we were nominated for Best Lead Male.
Yeah.
Which was really cool. But we also have 25 additional nominations on top of the 19 we won.
Wow.
That's a great family film. I saw it. I really liked a lot of the. To me, it was pretty deep. It's deeper than just surface area stuff. There was a lot of stuff underneath that was just, when you sat back and you looked at the meaning of it. I watched it twice, and both times I watched it, I
Pick up different things, man.
Different takeaways.
Breadcrumbs. We have breadcrumbs because the problem with movies today, they're predictable, they're repeats of old stories, and they spoon feed you.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Tinker is not a spoon-fed movie. It's a movie that has these little. We didn't tell you what happened to Mom, but you better be watching the movie because she walks out of a door and there's a sign that says, "Okay, well then she has cancer," and I'm not going to be. It's out. So I mean, but I mean, there's these things. Yeah, but there's these things that we didn't spoon feed an audience. So people are going back and they're watching it 2, 3, 4 times. I got people that 8-year-olds. They're going like, man, we've played it 9 times.
Yeah, it's
just letting it roll because there's no cursing, no violence, no sex, no drugs,
Right.
and there's no political persuasion.
Right. Yeah. That's the one rule we have on this show is no politics.
Otherwise, I wouldn't be here.
Right. We can talk about all that stuff all the time.
Talk about food, music,
Food, music,
art,
and talent. People like Tom.
Speaking of food, we're in Mama Lucy's kitchen on Diversion Canal out here having a good day. You hear boats passing in the background.
Yeah, man.
It's beautiful. What's your favorite Louisiana dish, Tom?
Well, it is crawfish season right now, so I mean, I'd be, doing an injustice if I didn't say crawfish because we've already got, dude, they're like $6.50 a pound. I remember they're like $3.40, $3.50. I know, but we're lucky. We have crawfish right now in January.
Right. Yeah. I think we're getting it.
I think that's,
9, 10
you know
months
what? I think that was God's way of saying y'all were supposed to win the NFC Championship.
I think so. I think you're right.
So we're going to give you crawfish early.
We're not talking about politics. So leave football out of it.
I think everybody in Louisiana agrees on that.
Yeah. But my favorite food, honestly, I had
Super Bowl,
I
watch
did
the
a
show.
development, and it was catfish coubillon that a guy from DeQuincy made for me. He was a good friend of mine. He's gone now, but he was a black man that monitored this subdivision, and I really got to know him, and he made the best catfish. Now, he also made a turtle stew, but he had knuckles in it, and I wasn't too fond with the feet.
I'm not a huge fan of turtle, but the catfish coupon, now I can cook you a hell of a catfish.
Oh, I love that. Anything wild.
Every time we're cooking crawfish outside, of course he knows he's always invited, but you can always see his head pick up around the fence and, hey man,
Well, I'll tell
come
you what,
over, you don't have to be invited. Just
on
show
that
up.
note, we're going to hang out here like a hair and a biscuit for a minute. We'll be right back.
Be right back, thank you. Welcome back to the show, guys. This is Corey.
This is Hoyt.
I'm Tom.
Talking with Tom.
Talking
today.
with Tom. Hopefully we'll have Tom back on the show again.
Talking
'cause
about Tinker.
we love him being here.
Oh,
Talking
he's
about
awesome,
Tinker.
man.
Yeah.
This movie is great. You got to see it.
You gotta watch
see
the
it.
movie. You gotta see it.
So,
Gotta
Tom,
see it.
tell us about how you shot it, and
Oh,
a
okay,
little bit
yeah.
more about the movie. Maybe
I can give you some
people that's been
technicals on
around.
it, man. This was a one camera shoot first off, okay, and which basically meant that you wouldn't have an extra camera to pick up additional coverage. We shot it on the first production. We shot it at 5K on a red Mysterium X chip, and then the second production we used a red dragon, and we shot it at 6K. And what that does is it gives you the option to really get some good coloring, that's added to it. And what we wanted was something that looked film. So we used like some 60s, 70s Kowa lenses. And those were kind of the same lenses, if I'm not mistaken, because we got them out of Burbank. Those same lenses that shot Rocky and Godfather. Not the same exact ones, but the same style.
Same style, yeah.
And it gave us that creamy, milky look because we're in the country and we wanting this, we just wanted that look, and it really turned out fantastic. I mean, As far as the crew, very skeleton crew. So we didn't have grips, even the first one. We had a gaffer, Chad, who was just a beast. We call him the Beast, and he did practically everything. So but yeah, eventually we ended up on the second production, expanded, bigger grip truck and all that. But I mean, Wendy, we got her. She was from Alexandria, and we brought her in to play Mary Ann, the mom. And we used a lot of local talent, because I mean, I'm all about getting local talent.
Sure.
How'd you find those guys?
Well, when you're desperate, you go ahead and just blast emails out to universities. You blast, emails out to people that are in your sphere. Sonny knew a lot of them, like our DP Ryan. He knew him. He knew Chad, because they've done a lot of reality TV together. So we were able to luckily, we shot in Christmas. That's the cheapest time to make a film.
Really?
Yeah, nobody's working.
Oh.
And gear's not rented out. So now gear's on the shelf, not making nobody money. So if you're an independent filmmaker, shoot your stuff in December. It's cold, but shoot it in December.
Well, not so much colder here.
Well, yeah, right. I mean, look, we're sweating and the doors are open and people are freezing up north.
If y'all like the weather in Louisiana, just wait 10 minutes.
It'll change. That's right.
Right.
They say everybody's moving south because of that,
Well, we actually end up having a lot of talent come here from other areas, and people that migrated from LA to Louisiana during the film boom, they were like, okay, this is the closest thing to our environment, but the food, the culture, and grass, because there's none there.
Right.
They're like, and the real estate, the cost of living is cheaper. So, I mean, it did attract a lot of people, which actually my post-production supervisor, been in the industry for a long time, they end up buying here and they've stayed, even through the rough times.
So what do you typically have on a set like that? You throw out DP or whatever, so other people who are listening or watching might want to get into it. What does it take? Like, what are those positions on a set? And what are they responsible for?
Okay, so I mean, obviously you end up having a director who's got a vision. You have the producer that's managing everything, a line producer keeping up with financing, a scripty or a script supervisor that's making sure that glass didn't turn or that cigarette's not all the way burned out and it's the same for the next cut. Then you have second AD, who's usually a producer's support. I mean, that's like their go-to person, a unit production manager who's handling everything way ahead of everybody else. You like to have an editor on set, because if you don't, it'll go long in post, because they're looking at that footage, that their DIT is saying, here's the footage, and they're processing everything,
Yeah, they learned the film before.
And then, you got hair, makeup, you got special effects. Sometimes you have somebody that comes in and they're setting up the set for special effects, green screen shots. We didn't have any of that because we had practical lighting, So, I mean, you got gaffers, electricians, grips. It's an army, and that's why the film industry is so important, because a lot of people say, producers make all the money. Like they say, CEOs make all the money. Well, guess what? These people have jobs.
Yeah.
And they're going to hand out these jobs, and they're going to rent spaces from hotels and buy lumber for set designs from local, lumber companies that are cutting trees in North Louisiana. It's an economic, it just pours down.
And it's starting to come back. You're right. We did have a little bit the time there that we it slowed down, but with the tax incentives back in place where they should be.
Yeah, and they had to fix them. That people were running rampant with the tax incentives.
Yeah, and you've experienced that yourself, I'm sure.
Most definitely.
Yeah, but man, it's just a pleasure to have you here. But you also have some other stuff coming up.
Yeah.
Oh man. Since Tinker, got a lot of phone calls. We actually were in consideration for the 91st Oscars, and I was contacted by the Academy of Motion Pictures and Arts and Tinker, which I wrote with a local Stephen Hoover, the screenplay. They requested it to be recorded in the core collection in their library.
Oh wow,
nice.
Mic drop.
Yeah.
Boom.
Boom.
I mean, I'm like, look. So anyway, I've got a short I'm shooting with Chalet, my little actress that's on the film on Tinker.
Yes.
She's coming in April. We're going to be shooting a short, and we're going to try to go for the LA Film Prize, which is, if you do a short, LA Film Prize is what you want to do, but you have to shoot in Northwest Louisiana. But that's like the best competition for shorts, bar none. Little plug. Anyway, we're going to shoot the short there. I've got a documentary that I was contacted with. I can't get into detail that hopefully we can go ahead and wrap that up. It's a huge project, which I'm super excited about. And we just wrapped up The Well, which is our next feature. And it actually takes place in Burundi, Africa. Now we're going to shoot a little bit there, but I mean the unsafe nature, we'll have to end up doing studio and probably go ahead and do wildlife reserve, you know, and local. And I'm going to use all my local team for VFX and my editor, you know, Matt Hacox he's a best friend, really. You know, we work so close together. So, I mean, I'm going to be able to bring all that here and now finally, because we shot in Birmingham and Greenville because that was where it was best for us to shoot to keep our budget down on Tinker.
Yeah.
So otherwise I would have shot here, you know, but now I can kind of dictate that.
Because you've got experience and people, of course, are calling you for it. So, you know, you're definitely where you need to be, and we're excited for you.
Well, you know, I mean, if I wouldn't have finished the film, they wouldn't be calling me.
That's right. Well, once you start something, you got to finish it.
You got to finish it. Yeah.
What gave you the wherewithal to get through that again?
Oh man. Well, you know, besides having a lot of money tied up in it.
Not spending any of your own money on that.
Oh, totally, man. God, I'm still paying. But besides having my own money tied up on it, I want to do a positive message. I want to do films that are meaningful. There's not enough. I mean, I've got children. Everything's TVMA, everything's R. And Tinker, although it's good for children, it's an adult message, period, bar none. If you're a grandparent, you know, if you fostered a child, or if you have adopted a child, or if you dealt with sickness or illness, there's so many, or if you're a vet, so many messages that are in Tinker that people are connecting with. And that's what there are people walking away inspired. They're walking away, literally our social media blows up.
Yeah, I watched it. I really loved it. I'll probably watch it again. Look for some of those hidden messages.
Oh man, yeah, I
But
love
y'all
it.
hang out. We're gonna be right back with Tom and
Corey.
see you in a bit.
Being a father is not about blood. It's about accepting an opportunity to do what's right by another human being. I can accept that same responsibility. Do what's right.
We're here today because your sister Marianne Corrigan passed away. Now it's up to you whether or not you want to be Kyle Stark.
What happens to him if I don't take him?
We'll place him inside of foster care.
Okay,
Okay?
I'll take him.
Perfect.
Who's that guy outside?
He's just a fellow to help me out with a few things around the house.
He's just this.
That's my daddy's.
Where's your daddy?
He ain't around anymore.
Is he where my mother is?
You can do that for me? I'll give it a shot.
I don't like little Freddy. He never plays with me. He's always in the workshop or away.
You need to do that boy the same way. You don't need to worry about what I do with that boy. He's obsessing over that blasted machine.
Why don't you work?
I bet I could fix it.
These crystals were my father's. Crystals hold energy. If you learn to listen, you can hear their sounds.
You look to the stars. A lot of people say fools look to the stars.
This could emit an energy field that goes on not just for miles, but hundreds of miles.
What's happening?
Welcome
Boy,
back.
I'm back with
Corey.
and
Tom.
That was a trailer, The Tinker. We really hope you enjoyed it. And Tom, tell us where we can see this movie.
Well, we were able to get a distributor that really liked the movie, and they got North American rights. And well, if you want to watch the film, it's on Amazon Prime, Vudu. You can pick up a copy through Amazon.com, Walmart.com. I mean, practically everywhere. Cox Cable, DirecTV.
Yeah.
I mean, so everywhere in North America is available. We even have some territories wrapped up, like Asia, and some territories in Asia. South Africa is starting to give us feedback. and we're trying. We really want UK. We really want Germany, Spain. We have so many fans out there, and you've stuck by us. I mean, and we're trying to get it out there. If I got to dub this, not dub. If I've got to go ahead and give subtext on this, because I can't dub French, I will. I promise. I want to get it out there. But it's a lifelong film. It's a film that's timeless. We don't have a timestamp on it.
Awesome.
So if people say, when did it take place? You decide.
Yeah, and that's a great way to do it.
Yeah.
Coming up, if you guys want to be on the show, people have talent. If you're an actor, actress, I don't know if those are politically correct terms nowadays, but this show is all about talent. And we're going to put talent on there. We're going to have a section on our website, possibly if Tom's ever looking for some raw talent to put in one of his films or movies.
Always looking for raw talent, especially music, because music rights, they're so expensive, and there's so much talent here as far as, just an array of music, because just like food, people come to Louisiana to learn jazz, but then it branches them off to bluegrass, or it branches them off to country, and we got rappers around the area. So there's a lot of local talent for sure.
Yeah, and that's what this show is about. That's why we wanted you on the show, because of course you live here, and Tom's as much a cool ass as the rest of us.
I eat like one, Also, I want to say, if you're really interested in the film, we keep everybody updated on social media.
That's right.
We have tons of fans on Facebook. We show behind the scenes footage. We're about to start dropping the deleted scenes and some of the behind the scenes, videos. I handle all the social media, Instagram, Twitter, tinkerthemovie.com. But Facebook is Tinker the Movie, Tinker Movie on Twitter, Tinker Movie on, we're owned it. I couldn't believe nobody had Tinker.
Yeah.
Unless it's a fairy. I guess that's why they stayed away from it.
Yeah.
But we have no fairies in this movie. And realistically, Tinker is only the second book. There's 3 stories. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we go back, in the very first one, we go back to the 60s and 70s, whenever Grady Sr.'s dad gets drafted in the war, the Vietnam era.
So there may be another movie in there.
No, we have a trilogy that we want to do, but the middle one was the cheapest because it didn't take nearly as much as far as visual effects or set design.
So you have a site or any other place you're possibly raising money to do that?
You know what? At this point right now, we actually have so many people it's a good calling card. We've already proved, hey, look, we can take something very small, under $300,000 all in. And when I'm saying all in, marketing and all that, but we can take very low budget and turn it into something big. It's not always about the money, because I see these people making movies at $100 million and they're making $7 million their opening weekend. Mm-hmm. And it's like, they're like, why didn't y'all do a bigger theatrical run? Honestly, you have to have backers. You have to have a huge distribution company, and they're going to cost you out. Yeah. They're going to be like, I'm sorry, you made $50 million, but it costs us 70 to market it.
Yeah.
And they're not going to tell you the truth or tell you the realities behind it, because you don't know the number breakdown. That don't work for me.
Yeah.
I have to see it,
Yeah. That's awesome.
Well, and that's good business practice too for you, going further into the industry as you will, I'm sure, and with your movies coming up. So.
Well, the big thing too is that any movie, a lot of filmmakers want to end up landing. The big goal for them, for me, it's a product. I love the story. I love telling a story and inspiring people, but they want to be on Netflix because 30 million subscribers have a chance to see your film. Okay, we're on Amazon Prime. That's a huge platform. Vudu's owned by Walmart. Okay, so they're getting into the streaming game.
Are you guys on Pureflix or?
No, not yet. That's a whole different platform. Okay, because they actually will end up licensing out. But we were nominated at the International Christian Film Festival, where Pureflix has a big presence. But The Well, our next film, is a faith-based film. It's don't be confused. It's a cool faith-based film, and we've already submitted the screenplay to International Christian, and Pureflix. That's a good product, because they join up with Sony Pictures, like God Is Not Dead, and some of these other larger films. So it's. We'll see where it goes, but I just leave it up to God for that.
Yeah, there you go. Cool.
Yeah, no doubt about
it. I'm Hoyt.
I'm Corey.
And this is...
I'm about to be out of here. I'm Tom.
Thanks for joining us. And we sure hope Tom will come back and talk to us again real soon.
That's it. Till next time, give a hoot and a holler to the coot and the collar. Have a great day.